Another one of those questions I get all the time, so much so I know it's out of pure motives because so many people ask, hey, Shawn, how can you coach people to achieve things that result from their career gaining way more money? How can you help them be ambitious? Isn't that a lack of contentment? Isn't that unrighteous? Aren't we kind of violating what Paul wrote to Timothy? It's a great question, and I get it so much. It tells me that not a lot of people really quickly know how to answer that biblically. So that's what this video is about. I'm going to teach you a little bit about what Paul meant to in his letter to Timothy, and then where else he kind of gave an insight into that so we can really understand this. Hi, my name is Shawn Sommerkamp, and this is Motivationeer Christian Coaching. Okay, so the reference passage, it's in 1 Timothy 6, 4 through 10, where it kind of links contentment and wealth, lack of contentment with pursuit of wealth. Basically, it says, hey, we can't take anything out of this world. We should be content with what God's given us. And then he goes into some people eager for money have shipwrecked their faith. That is the thing that stands out to most disciples of Jesus. They think, hey, I can't be eager for money. That instantly means I'm discontented and I'm going to ultimately shipwreck my faith. I do think we want to be cautious of this, of course, because that's why Paul was teaching Timothy as a pastor. I think it's the church in Ephesus, to be on the lookout for that. It's a trading port, probably a lot of wealthy people there. Even if it's Crete, I'm sure there was a lot of people there that were wealthy as well. I get Timothy and Titus mixed up there. But Paul is instructing him how to kind of keep an eye out for that and teach people, be careful of what you're ambitious for. But let's get a deeper insight into what Paul might have been meaning, and I think we can when we look at Philippians 4. Here Paul is talking about what I have come to believe is his life before Christ and after Christ. Or before Christ and after Christ, reversed here. And he says, I have learned to be content in all situations. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I know what it's like to have a lot, and I know what it's like to have little. I can be content. This, I think, gives us the clue. If we're called to do something or feel like we've got this burning passion to go do it, to be more for our churches, our families, to provide more, and we know we have that talent to go do it, I'd say go do it. What Paul, I think, was hinting at was, I lived pretty well before giving my life to Christ. I ate well. Now I'm traveling all over the Mediterranean seaboard. I don't eat so well. I've given up everything to follow Christ. I am okay with whichever one God called me to, because he probably felt called to be a Pharisee at the time, and then his eyes were opened, and he certainly was compelled for Christ. So ultimately, he's not saying if you are ambitious, that's wrong. I think we can look at it as after Paul is converted to Christ, if my assertion is correct here, he's now living in a different way, a whole different lower level of lifestyle, no longer a man of great means. And he said, whoa, I don't really like this lifestyle. I'm going to go back to doing what I was doing before. That is, I think, what he was referring to in 1 Timothy. Not, okay, hey, I've got out of college, I've been growing in my career. Boy, I've got a lot of talent. I found out I'm pretty successful here. I'm going to try to make the most of myself. Way different, I think, than someone who tried something, it fell short, they didn't like that outcome, and they're like, I'm just going to keep pushing until I achieve my millionaire status. I think that selfishness is the 1 Timothy 6 warning. I don't think that means we can't be ambitious with the talents and gifts God's given us. Lots of people in the New Testament were of great means. They utilized what they were given to achieve wealth. It wasn't in contrast to not having wealth, though. That's where selfishness comes in. This is the 1 Timothy 6 version. So let me clarify just one more time, or to make it more clear maybe for the first time. I'd say if you have a talent in a certain area that the market will reward well, whether it's leadership or technology or starting a business. I'd say if we don't go and use those gifts and those talents, we're not doing the best with what God's given us. I think part of that is in the parable of the talents, the 5, the 2, and the 1. We don't want to hide our talent out of fear, certainly, that the master is going to judge us. That's what we found out about the guy with 1 talent. But if, let's say, we go try to leverage our talent in the marketplace with great ambition and eagerness, and the outcome of that is not great, that is what we're supposed to be content with. God is taking us in that direction. And then he starts opening all these other doors and areas where we're not going to make a killing in the marketplace. Go there, do that. Be content with the lesser, because there is a reward in heaven that we're building up. This is, I think, the difference. I hope this nuance explains it, because it is a question I get so often. Look at Philippians 4 in comparison to 1 Timothy 6. And if you'd like to share some insights below, I'd love to hear from you. If you've got greater, if you have something that you believe contradicts what I'm saying, I'd also love to hear that too. So please leave a message or a comment below. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for 2 new videos each week. Tell me in the comments below about your career situation, and I'll make a video for you with a shout out. You can also become a member at Motivationeer.com. Your career is not just a way to make a living, it's a way to transform the world.